Hello and welcome to the Keto Man's Club podcast.
We're glad you're here, where each week we talk about men's health and lifestyle.
We do so with the foundation of the ketogenic diet and lifestyle.
If you don't know what keto is, stick around and you'll find out.
The podcast will bring you real, honest fun.
Each week we strive to uncover the tips and tricks that you can use in your everyday life to maximize your overall health.
Find the clearest path to becoming the best version of yourself that you were meant to be.
Hello and welcome to this week's episode of the Keto Man's Club podcast. My name is Chris. I'm one of your hosts, right along with Jim and Alberto, and we are super excited to have our guests here today. But first, let's kind of catch up on what's going on. How's it going, Alberto?
Going good, man. Up here working in beautiful Wichita Falls near Oklahoma this week. We actually had a chance to go out to dinner with the low-carb WF folks on Instagram at low-carb WF if you're interested in following them. And good people, man. They were at Keto Con. We were at Keto Con. We just started messaging each other back and forth. And when I got up here, they said, hit me up. We'll grab some dinner. And I went out to dinner with them twice this week. And they actually invited me out again tonight. But obviously I'm here. So I kindly turned them down and appreciated the offer.
Yeah, they introduced you to half-price fajita night, I think, if I remember right.
Oh, half-price fajitas at this little Mexican joint. And it's half-price fajita night, but it's fajitas for two. So I did the only reasonable thing, and I ordered twice. So I ate fajitas for four.
That somehow does not surprise me at all. Jim, how's life?
Life is good. As we shared in the last episode of the Keto Man's Club podcast, in a little bit of a job transition. My new job begins next week. And so I've been on this semi-retirement kick for about 10 days or so. And it's kind of nice to, number one, decompress a little bit. Number two, have the opportunity to go work out whenever you want to. Just kind of renewing my focus on keto. I've got some, what do you call it? Bento boxes, I think is what they're called, where, like 2 or 3 compartments and snap-on lids and all this good stuff so that way, when the new job starts, lunch can be prepared on Sunday and ready to go throughout the week and everything. Just all good, man. All is good. But I do want to ask Alberto, when he ordered for 4, does that mean you knocked out all of it in one sitting, or were there any leftovers that you took home for later?
Oh, no. I ate it all. I ordered the fajitas for 2 for myself. And then when I finished that, I ordered another fajitas for 2 for myself. And I ate it all.
And did they question you at the restaurant or be like, you need to leave now because they were worried they go out of business on the same day or anything?
Well, the low carb Wichita Falls folks, apparently that's their Tuesday tradition. So they were well aware with the ordering process. And they were well aware that we go there to eat. So they did not seem the least bit surprised. So it was actually just so nice to just go to dinner with people that are like, that there was no shortage of things to talk about. There was no awkward silences when all the food showed up. We all ordered the identical meals. I actually ordered 2. Tony ordered 2, and then his wife ordered 1. So we literally ate for 10 people between the 3 of us.
I love it.
Oh, that's awesome. Chris, how about you? How have you been?
Keeping busy as always. Finished a video today that's going to go up on the Keto Savage channel. That's always fun. That's been a nice change from the audio editing side of things in life. Being able to do some video editing and play around with that world. That's been fun. Work's been good. Keeping on. I've been seeing some, in the keto / health world. Recently, I've had my blood work done and everything's looking really, really good. My testosterone replacement has been doing exactly what it's supposed to be doing. My numbers are really good there. So didn't really make any adjustments to it. They did identify one interesting thing because I'd seen this hinted in my blood results 3 months ago. And I asked my doctor, I said, hey, can we test this again just to kind of see? And so he's usually pretty good about going ahead and going with me. And so we tested my ferrite levels. That's basically the iron in the blood. and I was low again after the 3 months. So I've been increasing my red meat intake as best as I can without eating us out of house and home. This last week, I ate a whole package of Alberto's Texas Wagyu, and it was amazing. And enjoyed that with, I think all I cooked it in was a little butter and some spices. It was like amazing. So, yeah, it was really, really good stuff. But yeah, that's been my response to that, is I've been trying to up my red meat intake and things like that. I have been seeing some slightly lower numbers on occasion on the scale, which is kind of nice, even though it's not loss, because it keeps bouncing back up a little bit. It's bouncing lower than it had been before. So maybe possibly if I can keep dialed in, we'll be good to go, and we'll
Good
start
for you.
seeing that number continue to go down. But yeah, life is good. Well, what's going on who do we want to call out on this episode? I've got somebody that I've got in mind here that I saw a post, not in not on the group page, but on their personal feed, that I'll talk about here in a second. But what other call outs do we have?
Well, just because it's hilarious. Remember Dave B posted that video of the the watermelon rear naked choke challenge.
Oh,
And, I mean, it's exactly what it sounds like. And yeah, I don't know. It was far too entertaining, way more entertaining than it needed to be. And I watched that video probably way too many times. I will not be trying to rear naked choke a watermelon, because that just seems messy and gross.
yes, it does. Jim, how about you? Any call outs?
I do. I have one. It's a newer member, Ryan R., who just joined this week, and reading from the Keto Man's Club Facebook group. I'm a 28-year-old dad, Spartanburg, South Carolina. Started out at 330, and he said that's the highest he chose to look at on the scale, but he knows that he was probably higher than that at one point. Ended up in the hospital with a blood sugar of 470 plus. He had a friend suggest keto as a way to help with the blood sugar, and he took it from there. He's hit his lowest this month, so July 2019, at 188 pounds, and that's just a little over a year, he says, following the ketogenic way of eating. Starting earlier this month, July 2019, he made the switch to a ketogenic carnivore diet and is now working 100% on his gains. And he put up 6 before photos and a collage, and then 4 after, and the change is absolutely amazing. So kudos to Ryan for drilling in and dialing in and drilling down to all the details of that and making such a positive change for himself, and I'm sure his family as well.
Absolutely. That's really, really cool to get to see these types of results. It's inspiring, it's encouraging, and that's awesome. I wanted to call out Joey Palacios, our friend who's been on the podcast. He posted on his personal Facebook feed. First, it was just some fun lip sync, dancing on the treadmill type, singing along things, trying not to be bored while he got his miles in. But after that, he started talking about the revelations that he's found as he's moved into keto, and the confidence that he's found, and it resonated from him in that series of posts, that how confident he is and how positive he is, and he was using that as a point that he didn't start out confident in that the weight would stay off this time. He found that confidence and he found that root, and that he's just holding on to it. And so that was just a really encouraging series of posts that he shared. And he's really, really close to hitting the 100 pounds lost mark. And then he wants to trim back a little bit further from there. But really, he's just killing it. And so shout out to Joey.
And real quick, since you mentioned Joey, I got to give one more quick. Joey C. hit Wonderland, which means he's in under 200 pounds. He's lost 102 pounds on his journey, and he hit 199 pounds at the end of July. You look at the photos in the group, and it doesn't even look like the same guy. So kudos to another Joey in the group for the excellent work.
Yeah, we got some really some really powerful weight loss hitters going at it in this group, and they are encouraging and inspiring all of us, and that's really, really cool. And it's not all about the numbers on the scale. We all know that, but it certainly is a great indicator, a great metric to be able to use to be able to find those things and be able to be encouraged by those landmarks. Well, today we get to talk with a couple guys who are behind a product that I know myself and Alberto have gotten pretty much addicted to, and I have certain things that I'm finding very useful from it that goes even beyond the typical use of an energy supplement, meaning an energy drink. We are talking with Evan and Lance from LiKuid, LiKuid, and they've got a great product. It's we're going to hear all about it, have them explain exactly what it is and whatnot. But Lance, Evan, welcome to the show.
All right. Hey, thanks. Thank you.
So, Alberto, why don't you get us started? Because I think you're the one that tipped me off at Keto Con that, hey, you need to check those guys out.
Yeah, I believe my exact words were, these guys somehow canned Ninja, and you need to see what Ninja in a can do for you. and dragged you over there. And I mean, the only way I can describe it is a heavily caffeinated, mildly flavored seltzer water, which is a refreshing change of pace from all the other heavily caffeinated energy drinks you see out there. And I mentioned to him before, some of the other guys, like, if you're in the mood for a pina colada, yeah, they nail that flavor, but that's not what I want. And so their stuff is extremely drinkable, actually quite refreshing, doesn't leave that funky sweetener aftertaste in your mouth, has a BHB built in, and it's good stuff. I should probably stop talking about it and let you guys talk about it because it's your product.
Yeah, absolutely. I really appreciate it, Alberto. So if you guys want, we can start with like our story, how we got into business in the first place. If that's all right. And then
let's start at the beginning.
Cool. Yeah. So first of all, me and Evan we're twin brothers. We go to UCF here in Orlando. So we're 23 years old, and we started doing energy drinks in high school when we were 18. But we started with a completely different brand. We really just wanted to make like a healthier energy drink. At the time, there wasn't much except for Monster and Red Bull. So we thought if we created an energy drink with just caffeine, and sort of marketed towards Florida, we'd do pretty good. So we started making just energy drinks out of our kitchen, like I said, in high school, and slowly grew the business from, first out of a bakery that we made energy drinks out of for 2 years, and then into the warehouse that we're in now, where we've been for 2 years, and then on to the next one this week, actually. And Evan, if you want, you can elaborate a little more there about the process. And I've skipped over a lot of detail there, but that's a good overview.
I would say that. Yeah, those maybe like 4 or 5 years between high school and now. I mean, it was a really like excruciating slow process building that business, just because we had, almost no money. We didn't know what we were doing. I mean, we were in high school. So it's kind of an out there idea, but we just decided to really pursue it. And, really slowly that company grew. And now that brand, it's called SoFlo, is sold in a lot of organic grocery stores in Florida. So just Florida. But that's kind of where that brand's gone. But we took that background from making an organic energy drink, and we kind of applied that to making LiKuid. So originally where the idea came from to make LiKuid was I'd been doing the keto diet a couple months before Keto Con. And, me and Lance, we were kind of in a place with SoFlo where we were finally stable, which was pretty amazing. After 5 years to be financially stable with that company was great. And we were looking to start another brand because we thought, SoFlo kind of reached its growth potential and could really expand from there. And being on the keto diet, I drank a lot of Bang because, I love energy drinks, but, that's kind of the one to drink if you're keto and, you can't drink sugar, especially for pre-workout. And, being in that position where we had owned an energy drink company for years, I just thought, maybe we could do a better job of making something similar. So, Lance actually mainly kind of put LiKuid together. He went in the kitchen and, did some trial and error with some flavorings and decided to add the exogenous ketones. And really threw the drink together. So I think what really informed it was the background in organic energy drinks. We really could put organic and natural ingredients in liquid, which I think is something that people in the keto diet appreciate because, of course, they're very health conscious. And then the BHBs, the idea for that was that, we really missed that kind of rush that sugar gives you when you're drinking energy drinks. And then, that combination of that and the caffeine before you work out is fantastic. So being keto, the BHBs kind of compensate for that a little bit. So.
Yes, it does.
Yeah, I'd say that was a good choice.
Well, I appreciate that. I mean, I'm not keto. Evan's the keto guy, so I can't really fully appreciate the BHBs in there as much as you guys can. But that's great to hear. And I've heard plenty of it from Evan, but that's great feedback.
And tell our listeners, explain what those are exactly. I mean, just so that people who aren't aware have a little bit more insight of what that is and what that provides to someone.
Oh, yeah. So it's essentially the same as if you've heard of exogenous ketones. It's the same idea. But BHBs specifically, so different from, say, MCTs, are more of like short-term energy molecules for people on the keto diet. So your body uses those for energy more or less immediately, whereas like MCTs, it takes a little bit longer for your body to be able to use it.
Okay.
And BHB is short for beta hydroxybutyrate, correct?
Yes, that's correct.
Okay. Just making sure. I get them all mixed up. That's actually something that I wanted to cue into a little bit, and we might as well dive into it now. One of the benefits that I'm seeing, and this was actually kind of tipped off by a series of videos that Josh Perry did on his vlog on Instagram and YouTube. Josh Perry's a BMX biker that with a cancerous tumor in his head, who has been using keto to combat that, but they've been continuing to work and dial things in, and he's been working closely with Ryan Lowry, and he did a series of tests where they did brain scans of the result of different things like exogenous ketones and its effect on the brain. And part of the results of those tests showed that Josh was ADHD, which he was like, yeah, that's me. And then the other things that they showed was that the use of exogenous ketones allowed him to perform on the same tests faster and with more clarity. And the sections of the brain that being ADD or ADHD that are usually understimulated, that have less blood flow, traditionally speaking, were excited more with exogenous ketone use. I found that very interesting because, well, I'm very much ADD. So as I was drinking liquids since Keto Con, I would find that they don't really, drinking a liquid doesn't help me much on a workout. But it does help me whenever I need to sit down at my computer and have an editing session for 2 or 3 hours, and I can just dive in and I get this zero focus, just like if I had been put on Ritalin, and it's crazy.
That's awesome.
So there are different forms of ketone salts of BHB. Which version of BHB are you using? You mentioned short term, which has been my experience as well. It's lasted for about 2 or 3 hours maximum for me. It feels like it burns off after a certain period of time.
It's just a blend of potassium BHB, magnesium BHB, and what's the last one? It's potassium, magnesium, calcium. Yeah, calcium BHBs. So from how I understand it, you get that same BHB molecule with each one, and you're also getting electrolytes and magnesium, calcium. That's also added in there in lower quantities, but they just come down to the salt already. That's my understanding of it. Evan knows more about this stuff though.
Is that right, Evan? That's exactly right. Yeah, it's the same molecule. So all BHBs are the same in that respect, where they're all short-term energy molecules. So it's just different kinds of electrolytes in there is the only difference.
Well, I kudos for not saying proprietary blend.
Yeah,
No.
yeah. I do appreciate that. I do appreciate that, and the idea that these also, with keto, electrolytes are so important. It is nice that there's a little bit of a bump on the electrolyte side of things as well, just because of the nature of the product that you're including in there. So that's cool to hear, and things like that. So, Alberto, do you have anything?
Yeah, just to add it's not so much a question, but just to add a comment to it, because like as you guys saw on the Instagram, like I train automotive painters for a living, and
Okay.
we do demos. Like I have this whole trailer set up with a mobile mixing room that I could pretty much pull my truck with this trailer up, and I have everything I need to pull up to a body shop and paint a car so they can try out my paint. And sometimes these things go on for 2 or 3 days, and and everything that I do when I do that, like. For the customer to buy in, everything's got to go 100% right. And, I got to take into account airflow in the booth. I got to take into account the color of the car, if the sun faded the car, temperature, humidity, the type of gun he's using. So, it's a very technical job with a lot of juggling parts. And when these things go on 2 or 3 days, it gets mentally exhausting. And I have no choice but to rely on caffeine to kind of power me through like the later afternoon hours. Cause like, in some of these cases, like we're not done painting until the painters say we're done. If that's 8, 9 p.m., so be it. We're there to show them that the paint works. And, the last 2 that I did, I had the benefit of, and that's where those pictures came from that I saw you, that I had the benefit of that, of your product. And I am not, and at first I was like, it's probably just a coincidence. But like, as Chris was saying, and as you guys well know, the mental clarity and like the acuteness that came. And it took me like 2 or 3 hours to get through, and I was just kind of sipping on it, put it to the side, get back to work. But the focus I was able to attain, compared to the low carb monsters and everything else, like this stuff was hands down. Like I felt like I was cheating almost. Like things were coming like way too easy and way too fast. So it's got many applications, and there's no shortage of junk food in the automotive painting industry. So I'm like, everybody that's like, oh, what's that? I'm like, well, let me tell you about this magic in a can.
Dude, that's so great to hear, man. I love hearing stuff like that.
It works. It's working, and it's working great. And I appreciate it just for that alone, because there's times where like it just feels like I can't get enough caffeine and salt in me to keep up and juggle all these moving parts at the same time. And man, not even half a can. Like I said,
you're good to go, huh?
It'll take me like 2 or 3 hours to get through a can just to sip here and there, and then drink water in between. And I am ready to rock, and it's great.
Dude, that's so awesome, man. Have you ever what's the most you ever drink in one day, you think? Out of curiosity.
Like liquid?
Liquid, yeah.
Oh, geez, gallons. Gallons? I would say, I think yesterday I was probably between going to the gym and then working, because it's been like 105 degrees up here. And then by the time you get off work and go to dinner, you're still trying to rehydrate. I probably drank about 2.5 gallons of liquid.
Yeah, we started making gallon containers. Insane. Yeah. That's great to hear, dude.
Yeah, I would say in answer to that question, I probably have done 3 cans of liquid in a day, and that was usually one of those days that started out at 5 a.m. getting to the gym, doing that, working all day at the day job, and then having to edit at night. And so I drink another one in the evening. And so
that's ballsy, man. That's late. You're not going to sleep.
Yeah. And let me clarify. When I said 2.5 gallons, I mean of stuff overall, not 2.5 gallons of your product, because I'm pretty sure I would not survive that.
I think you have a heart attack, man. Yeah.
No. Just anything with that much caffeine. I'm very sensitive to caffeine, so a can of that will last me all day, and then on top of a gallon and a half of water, just to keep me hydrated, and like an absolutely ridiculous amount of salt, just because I'm sweating so bad. But no, I definitely appreciate what it has to offer.
Dude, the great thing about having making all this stuff ourselves is that ever so often we'll mess up like a production run. So I think it was 2 days ago, we had a guy mess up a whole run of liquid. Probably why it's sold out on Amazon now. He messed up a whole run, but now it's just sitting around our house. So it's like impossible not to drink that one fight all the time. So you gotta have like 2 or 3 a day. Just got cases of it in my house.
Yeah, I actually drank 3 today. Yeah.
I think they drank awesome. 2 today.
So that actually brings up a question, Jim, you were going to ask.
So I haven't had the opportunity to try this stuff yet. I wasn't at Keto Con. I've heard from Alberto and Chris, and I mean, read about it on the Amazon website and everything. And I'm going to be the bad guy for a second. I don't mean it this way, but energy drinks sometimes have a very negative connotation. There's a bad reputation. People worry about your heart, excuse me, your beats per minute elevating, or you have the shakes, or all of these different things. So what makes LiKuid different from all of those rumors or experiences with other energy drinks out there?
So I think you go ahead, Evan. Go ahead, take this one.
Okay. Well, one thing I would just say is that the majority of energy drinks have all kinds of different stimulants in there, and that's one of the big unknowns with, like, say, a Monster or something like that, where they have, not just caffeine, but guarana, carnitine, taurine, B vitamins, all kinds of things where you're not really sure how they mix. With that said, people just have different tolerances to caffeine. So 300 milligrams of caffeine is a lot. So, there's going to be people that drink that and have kind of the symptoms you're describing with the heart palpitations and such, because in some respects, that's just kind of a consequence of drinking a lot of caffeine.
Well, I just wanted to add to what Evan said, is that I think a lot of people are more used to drinking caffeine than anything else because of all the coffee that people consume. So in that regard, people, they won't react as adversely, I would say, to our drink, since we just use caffeine as a stimulant versus, like Evan mentioned, all those energy drinks that have a kind of a cocktail of stimulants that people may not be used to consuming. Like I said, a lot of people are just used to drinking the caffeine from the coffee. There's much more coffee drinkers than energy drink drinkers out there, and it's just a smoother like switch over to our drink than it would be to another energy drink.
Yeah, and if you think about it, like an average cup of coffee is somewhere between 80 and 120 milligrams of caffeine.
Right.
So, I mean, if you got someone who drinks, 3 mugs of coffee or just 2 giant, mugs of coffee in the morning on the way to work, they're at that 300 easy.
Yeah, that would be my wife.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that for me, I feel the most like shakes and jitters and things like that on like the Bang or on the Monster, more on the Bang, because it's a pre-workout, which is something that I remind people of all the time in the group, or whenever I see them out just casually sipping on a Bang, I'm going, dude, that's not just an energy drink, right? But it's so I because it can be dangerous to take in some of those pre-workout chemicals, the cocktail that you were talking about, too much of that can add up. So that's where I usually feel it, is if I have too many of those, or too much of the chemical cocktail versus just caffeine. Caffeine doesn't really do that much for me because, well, I'm ADD, and so chemically it does different things for me. Stimulants are weird that way. It's been interesting to see and feel the same level of reaction and clarity that I get, or the energy, the boost on one can of this that it would normally take 2 or 3 Monsters for me to get the same level, which is saying something. It's definitely it's a better thing for me. And so that's why I'm getting it by the case on a regular basis now, as best as I can. I've got more coming in tomorrow.
Hopefully shipped out in time. Yeah.
It shows that it shipped, so I should be good to go. I should have it tomorrow.
You might have got the last one, man.
Yeah, who knows? Who knows? So I'm very thankful for this product and any product like it, but this is one of those that it kind of matches one for one product wise what I would normally drink or use, and it's a better alternative. So that's excellent in my personal opinion. Evan, I wanted to dig into your journey a little bit. You said that you're ketogenic. Kind of take us through how you got going on keto, why you got going, and what the benefits have been for you from all of that.
Oh man, well, I've really enjoyed it, but I started doing it in the beginning because a coworker of mine had been keto for a while and he really liked it. So I thought, maybe I'd try it. I just committed to it for a while. At first, it's a little rough going through the keto flu part and really craving carbs. I'm sure that's a common story. But after that, I think the biggest benefit is just kind of a consistent energy throughout the day. So you don't have those insulin spikes. You're not getting really energized and then crashing. It's just kind of consistent, which is really nice. And I think there are certain benefits with concentration and focus too. I don't know if I'm just kind of tricking my mind or if that's a real thing, but I have heard that a lot, and I feel like I'm getting those benefits. So I enjoy it.
Did you do it with the intent of even losing some weight or inches or anything like that? Or was this more of a trial just to see what it was like at first?
It was to lose a little bit of weight. And I have actually, I probably lost about 10 pounds since I started. So it was partially for that, but mainly, just to kind of try it out.
Mm-hmm.
Some of the best experiments happen that way. So nothing wrong with that. Alberto said he'll give it, 8 weeks, 10 weeks?
Yeah, that was my 8-week run, which was 2.5 years ago.
2.5 years, wow.
Yeah.
And how many buy one get one free fajita plates were you doing every day?
Yeah, well, back then I had all the sides that came along with it, so you can only really get through one when you're loading up on all the beans and rice and tortillas. So now it's like you're ordering half the food, but just a good half.
Right.
So let's talk a little bit about the reception that you've had, reports that you've had from your customers. We've talked about our experiences with the product, but what's the other feedback that you guys are getting as more and more people are learning about it? Things that you heard from folks at Keto Con, things like that.
So Keto Con was, I don't know, that was a huge leap for us. Like we explained, we're a really small company, and we don't have much money, so we were almost always like month to month here. And after 5 years, we finally had some money saved up. And I think someone messaged us about doing Keto Con, and I was kind of skeptical at first, and I'd never done anything like that before. So, but we just went for it. We just figured that we needed to kind of debut our brand somehow. And, because it's really expensive for us, at least, to get a booth there and all the travel costs and that sort of thing. So we just kind of put it all on the line with Keto Con and didn't expect too much, maybe to sell some cans and, not too much. Not even, I don't know. We didn't have very high expectations for it. But yeah, we were completely blown away after Keto Con. I'd say a pretty life-changing weekend for us. We had mild success with the other brand, and this brand, being so new, we didn't really expect too much. And yeah, after that, the reception was just incredible. Like the keto community blew me out of the water. Everyone there was so nice and so supportive. It was incredible. It was just every day. It was like seriously, I don't know. It was just incredible. Like I was talking to the vitamin shop guy at one point there, and it was a bad situation. Evan and we all went out pretty much every night when we were in Austin. So every morning at Keto Con, we were pretty hungover. But and of course, I had to talk to the
somehow. It doesn't surprise me.
Yeah, no, not at all. We went pretty hard at night, and the 8 a.m. Keto Con start was pretty rough for us. But I think one of the first people I talked to Saturday morning was the vitamin shop corporate buyer, who's one of the guys that we pretty much went to Keto Con for. That was honestly probably the only reason he went, was to talk to GNC and Vitamin Shop. And in the middle of him, me talking to him, I think I just wanted to cry. I was so excited that that what we wanted to do is actually happening. I felt like 5 years of work was kind of paying off with that conversation, and his interest in the product. Like it was just so, I don't know, it was pretty emotional for me, especially, I don't know if I was just hungover or what, but it was it was a big moment for me. It really was. The whole weekend, there's so many moments like that where I was like, wow, like maybe we'll actually have a chance at making it, after 5 years and not paying ourselves. There's 5 of us that have been working at this for free for 5 years and spent, we all have full-time students too. So it's really, really hard and really stressful. And it felt like it was kind of just, that weekend was like, I don't know, like it was just finally paying off. So that's how Keto Con was for me. It was probably the best weekend of my life.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Oh, that's awesome. So if you don't mind me asking, how do you juggle a business amongst 5 people? Like how does that work? I'm assuming it's working out. That just like,
oh, it works out. Yeah. I mean, So it's me, Evan. We are the ones who originally started all of this in high school. Like I said, we're twin brothers. And then there's 3 of our high school like best friends that we've been roommates with the entire time in college. So it's 5 of us that live in a house together.
Oh, wow.
And we've just all like best friends. So it works out perfect. The dynamics, it's awesome. You know, no one questions. I mean, it's just great. Like everyone knows like the bigger picture. We all know what we're working for here. So yeah, it's a great dynamic. It's pretty much what we want. I mean, and the end goal for us is just to be able to spend time together and work together. You know, like I said, we're all best friends and we don't want day jobs and, you know, we don't want to move away from each other. So we're really motivated to stay together and find some common ground here with this business.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
So let's talk about LiKuid. I'm just curious. So tell us about like flavors and sizes and containers and what all is offered from you guys.
Oh, right. Yeah. So right now we have strawberry, cherry lime, and tropical flavors. Right now it's just sold on Amazon. So it's 12 packs on Amazon. And then in Florida, it's sold in this organic grocery store called Lucky's Market. But that's it for now. So pretty soon, I think when the next shipment comes into Amazon, we're also going to have 4 packs available. So there will also be that option for people. I know a 12 pack is kind of a commitment. So trying to give people more options, but
yeah. And so I realized we haven't really talked about the product too much. So if people that are like don't know the product that are listening probably don't have any idea what we're talking about. So LiKuid is it's like a 16-ounce energy drink. Really similar packaging to like a Bang or a Monster. And what differentiates us is that we use organic caffeine. We use 300 milligrams. We put 4 grams of exogenous ketones in the drink. We use citric acid, organic stevia to sweeten it, and then natural flavors, and that's it. So that's the whole drink. So really, really simple. And we try to use organic ingredients wherever we could. And that's pretty much the product in a nutshell. And like Evan mentioned, 12-pack cases, 4 packs, and then singles we sell in retailers. But that's it for now. We're only a few months old, so we're trying to expand our online and retail presence right now. But a lot of problems with that.
I would also say that I think the way that Alberto described it earlier was a really good description, where it's just very clean tasting. It's like a flavored seltzer type of drink. So it doesn't taste like as chemically as like maybe a Bang would taste. So
yeah, because even like when you mention the flavors, like that's the only thing I would liken it to is like, you know, if you were to pick up like a lime seltzer water with like a 0-calorie, 0 sweetener seltzer water, it's not like you drink it, you're like, oh wow, this tastes like lime. It's like a lime hinted drink. And like, so when you guys say you have flavors, it's hinted towards that direction. It is not by any stretch overpowering. It doesn't hit you in the back of the throat. It doesn't get you in the back of the tongue. You know, it's super, super drinkable. Like probably too refreshing if that's a thing.
Yeah. Yeah, if I wasn't aware of the caffeine and the BHB and what it was doing, I would drink it the same way that I would the flavored sparkly water that I do drink by, you know, half a case if I let myself. So it does go down very easy. It is exactly that. It's very refreshing, very very easy to drink, and I like that a lot about it.
Thank you.
Yeah, absolutely. So you've talked a little bit about what's next for the brand. What's next for you guys outside of the brand? Is there aspirations of other things, whether it be business or you know, is it just growing the business, or what's going on? You're in school. Is that just for business management? What's your degree path? Things like that.
So I'm in school right now. Evan graduated in the fall. And the other 3 guys, all graduated. So I'm the only one. I'm going into my 6th year, I guess. I'm in the real long program here. But yeah, I'm the only one still in school. Like I said, they graduated. I'm in for engineering, electrical engineering. And I graduate in the fall. I just have 1 class left. And then I'm planning to 100% just run LiKuid, not go into the industry. Although I do love electrical engineering. I just, like I said, the vision's there for LiKuid, so I'm going to stick with that. But Evan's got some different plans that are pretty interesting.
Well, I mean, there's definitely a decision, but about the same time that I started the energy drink company with my brother, in high school. I also started preparing for medical school, by volunteering and all kinds of stuff. So, I've been kind of conflicting between those two things, essentially the entire time I was in college, but I'm planning on going to medical school instead of staying with a company. So it was a tough choice, but it's,
well, you're still going to be involved.
Mine, so.
Yeah. Do both.
So,
as much as you can. More remote, probably, but he's always going to be involved. But we got 5 guys here, so we'll be able to pick up the slack. But yeah,
that's still very cool that you're doing that. Do you have a specific path that you would like to take once you get through school, like a specific specialty?
Oh man, so I'm really interested in metabolism and nutrition now, especially with this whole. Maybe this is more of a recent interest, but with launching LiKuid and then being on the keto diet, I think that the science behind it is really fascinating, and I was really taken back by everybody at Keto Con is so invested in the science or asking me very science oriented questions, which I love. So that was really great. But my original plan was to do something related to allergy. Having allergies has been a big part of my life. I'm deathly allergic to shellfish, so. I always carry my EpiPen on me, so I was hoping to maybe one day become an allergist and then treat people that like me when I was a kid. I had allergy shots that really helped me out, so I was hoping to kind of give back and do that. So that's my plan.
Very cool. I bet there's a tie-in between the two because most allergies are somewhat related to inflammation, and ketogenic diet is an anti-inflammatory diet. So I bet you could tie the two together and make it a therapy that works for them on a twofold scale. I have a feeling. So best of luck on that. That's really cool.
Thank you.
So yeah, absolutely.
I would love to know why you picked the name LiKuid.
Yeah, it's sort of an arbitrary name. To be honest, that's pretty much where it came from. There's this brand called LiKuid IV that does hydrating, that powder that you put in water. I don't know what you call it, but
I think I've seen that.
I really like their. Yeah, it's pretty popular now, but it's a young entrepreneur, and I really like their branding a lot. And I wanted something that versus SoFlo, no one knew, it was just, I don't know. We got a lot of questions about that name. So I wanted something that was just sort of arbitrary and that if you saw it, you would sort of know what it is without having to put a bunch of other stuff, which is an issue we have with SoFlo since it means South Florida. So if we just had that on a shirt, everyone would be like, oh, that's just South. They wouldn't know it was our brand. So that's why we went for it. We had a capital K there. I had it I put it there for potassium, BHB, which is what our blend mostly consists of. Yeah, but no one gets that. I guess some people probably think it stands for ketone. Some people pronounce it LiKuid. They don't know how to even say the name. But
the French
I don't know.
version.
I'm sticking with it. Yeah, exactly. I was like, how do you not know how to say this? It's LiKuid. But I don't know. It's kind of arbitrary, to be honest.
Great.
So what are your guys' favorite flavors, and do you plan on expanding the flavor options at all?
So my favorite flavor is the tropical. What about you, Lance?
I don't know. We drink them so much that I kind of bounce around. we have a million strawberries. The run that we messed up the other day is strawberries. We have probably 20 cases of strawberries sitting in our living room, and I'm kind of done with that. So I don't know, maybe cherry lime. But to answer your other question, yeah, we absolutely do plan on expanding the line. In fact, what we want to do is hear from people like you guys and have a really cool portal on our website that you can sort of just vote on flavors, and we can make them in small runs. Because that's one advantage that we have as manufacturing this ourselves and having the production equipment to do it ourselves is that we can do really small quantities of things in our own facility. So if someone, if people really like a certain flavor or want a blackberry flavor or something, that we can do it and, it wouldn't cost as much. So that's kind of what we want to do. We want to have a lot of flavors. And right now we're working on one that we want to launch exclusive to our website. We're actually just starting working on it. We're going to go and do all the flavoring tomorrow. But do you guys have any recommendations for flavors?
I'm still hung up on the ones you got.
Yeah.
I've got no issues drinking those. They're amazing.
The cherry lime is probably my favorite, but all three of them are very good. I think I would probably do like a mixed berry, maybe. Like if you could do raspberry, blueberry, blackberry, that type of, just general berry flavor. That might be a good one. I don't know. The idea of doing anything heavy in a seltzer water doesn't interest me too much, but something simple like that might.
Okay. If you want, Chris, what we could do is I'll be there tomorrow. I can make you whatever you want as a sample and send it over to you. You can tell me what you think.
Oh, that would be amazing. I'd love to do that.
Yeah. So if you want a mixed berry type flavor, it might not be great because it'll be the first iteration. It might be terrible.
That's all good.
But we can send it over to you. You can tell us what you think.
Happy to be again.
And then how about you, Alberto?
Oh man, have you ever? This one, it's going to go one of two ways. But have you thought of something like a light coconut?
Yeah. Actually, we built our entire SoFlo brand around a coconut energy drink, so we're very well versed with coconut. Yeah.
So you can nail that one pretty easily.
I don't know. Apparently, we didn't, because that's our worst selling energy drink ever. Was that?
Well, and the only reason I say that is because the brand of seltzer water, the regular seltzer water that we buy, they have lemon, lime, just plain, and the one flavor was coconut, and I'm like, okay, well, first of all, this stuff's not incredibly flavored, the seltzer water that we buy. So I'm going to buy this coconut one and see what it's all about, and it's not terrible. It's definitely drinkable, but it's just such an odd choice for a flavor. Like who signed off on coconut hinted seltzer water?
Dude, I bet you're regretting it right now. Yeah.
No, I would honestly see what your guys' take on it would be just to see what that would taste like.
Yeah, maybe we could do like a key lime coconut, like a tropical-ish coconut. I don't know, coconut by itself, it was like an epic fail for us, man. Like I hate, like there's still residual coconut cans hanging around our warehouse that every time I see them, I just get angry. It's like, why does no one like this? It's my favorite drink, but everyone hates it.
Key lime coconut would work.
Yeah,
I think that.
Yeah, I think it would work too. Yeah, we could try that if you want. You guys just send me like a shipping address, and I'll ship you guys whatever you do tomorrow.
Well, and the good news is you can send it to one of us, and we'll both get it because we both live local and we're gym partners. So,
wait. Perfect. So does this mean that Jim might drink his first energy drink ever?
Whatever flavor he wants, Jim.
Jim?
Well, I'm feeling rather simple. I love orange. So if there's an orange type flavor, or even a compromise of sorts, like a lemon lime type thing or a lemon orange, something along those lines would be fantastic.
Okay. If I get a pen, I can write all these down so that way I don't forget. Orange is so our best-selling SoFlo flavor is a blood orange.
There you go.
So we already got all the stuff for that. So I'll definitely be able to do that. So blood orange, or not blood orange, but an orange or lemon lime flavor.
Mixed berry, and then key lime coconut.
Yeah. Or some kind of good coconut iteration. Mixed berry.
I would be curious to see video of what this process looks like on your side. I know that there's probably some proprietariness to what you're, so that you can protect your secret of the secret sauce, as it were. But the process in general sounds interesting to me.
Yeah, it's probably not as technical as you think. We kind of just go in there and mess around. But I wouldn't want to do that just because I don't want people to see, like, I guess just there's definitely be some proprietary things in that recording that I wouldn't want people to see. But it's kind of like, it's pretty laid back. We just go in there and mess around, and it's actually pretty fun. We used to, before we started LiKuid, actually the only reason that we ever did start LiKuid, or were able to start LiKuid, is because we didn't do something else. We were going to do a spiked seltzer company back when White Claw was getting really big. We had basically all the equipment to do a spiked seltzer that was going to be liquor based instead of like malt liquor based, which most of these are now, like White Claw is. That way you can get less calories. It'd be more keto friendly even. But we'd go in there and mess around with the formulation. Before I knew it, we were hammered and have to drive like 25 minutes. That's really fun, man. It gets really fun. Yeah, because you're drinking, you're not just taking samples. You're like down in the whole can, and then a couple of cans later, you're like, how do I get home? But yeah, that's pretty fun. Pretty fun process.
I feel so old right now listening or being part of this conversation. It's 10:30. I'm about time for bed.
Yeah. Don't drink a liquid, Jim.
Yeah.
No, I'm not. I won't. Not tonight. I promise.
Well,
that's awesome.
Yeah, that would be amazing to get to try some things, and we definitely can put you into into our community at the Keto Man's Club so that they can give their feedback and their ideas, because I'm sure that they will have opinions. They're highly opinionated about their energy drinks, and so given the opportunity to try something new, I am sure that they will be vocal. And so I would we will pull them into the conversation. I'm hoping that we'll be able to be a part of the future expansion of LiKuid and its future success. Well,
I appreciate it, Chris.
Yeah, absolutely.
One last thing. What's your website?
So the website is www.likuidenergy.com. And it's, LiKuid with a K, spelled the wrong way. So we're still working on it.
LiKuid.
Yes. Yeah. Like I said, we're still working on it. It's not perfect, and everything is out of stock on our site. So there's not much of a reason to go there right now. That's because we're really backed up with all our inventory and all that sort of stuff. But in the future, we'll have a lot of cool stuff on there, and hopefully we'll have exclusive flavors there. You guys can check out.
Right. And Lance, we also want to include a promo code for Amazon, right?
Right. So is that all right if I get back to you guys with that?
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
So for our listeners,
cool.
there will be a promo code so that you can try this at a slight discount in the show notes.
Yep. Perfect.
So that will be amazing. Thank you guys for being willing to give that a little bit of a discount for our listeners, because they will.
Yeah, absolutely.
They will appreciate that, and I think that it will be just enough to get their foot in the door on this, and then you'll be selling out, not because people messed up the batch, but because you can't keep up. You will be having the same problems that Keto Break had for quite a while, I have a feeling. So,
oh, yeah. That's awesome. Yeah. We'll still be missing up batches, but that'd be great.
Yeah. Okay, so I think that's all that I've got as well. Any other parting shots, guys?
I'm good.
Okay, so
yeah, I mean, I don't know how much you want me to rant and rave about your product, because I can talk. So, but I think we pretty much covered it, man. It's good stuff.
Yeah, absolutely.
I really appreciate it, Alberto. Thank you.
So, that's going to pretty much do it for us. So, let's go over the socials real quickly. You gave us your website, so that's one place for people to go, to likuidenergy.com. And then where else can they get to you on social media?
So the Instagram page is LiKuid Energy. We also have a Facebook page that kind of sucks. We just started it. It should also be LiKuid Energy. And then another place to buy our stuff is on Amazon. And then other than that, unless you live in Florida and happen to live close to a Lucky's Market, those are the only places that you can grab it at right now.
I'm going to ask you real quick. I have a Lucky's Market in Indiana. Is it the Lucky's Markets, but it still has to be in Florida, or can it? Okay.
Yeah, so we only have distribution for that in Florida, and even in Florida, LiKuid isn't at every Lucky's Market. To be honest, I'm not even sure which ones it's at. It's kind of spotty right now since it's such a new product. But yeah, Indiana.
I'm just impressed that you're in a store and you've made it as far as you have at your age and everything. So you do not apologize for anything. You guys are making big strides. That's fantastic.
Thank you so much. Yeah, it's not been easy at all. It's been a 5-year thing we could talk all day about how we've had, I don't know. We started with 7-Eleven, and that was a big mistake. We had a lot of problems it's been a journey, but I really appreciate it, Jim.
Yep.
Absolutely. Okay. So that's where our listeners can get a hold of you guys. You can find me on Instagram at DuckmanKeto and my personal Duckman1221. I post mostly, I try to keep my keto stuff on the keto page so that I'm not sending all of my non-keto friends crazy amounts or crazy pictures of like a pound worth of meat from where was it? It was Mighty Fine. They had a product that I posted about earlier this week. So I try not to push everything to my personal feed that would be keto related. Alberto, where can people find you?
I have the benefit of only 2 compared to you, but all my car painting shenanigans and just random fun car facts is _painter. And then I try to keep the fitness and keto side of things to the Keto Cholo, the newly coined Instagram page, thanks to you and Keto Con and scooters through downtown Austin.
That was an awesome moment. Jim, how about you?
I only wish there was a camera that had filmed it all. Mine is Jim Inman JR. On the Instagram. And then, of course, you can always find us in the Keto Man's Club on Facebook as well. And we're also on Instagram at Keto Man's Club Podcast. So you can find us all throughout Facebook, Instagram, and lots of other spots.
Yep, absolutely. If people want to get to our Facebook group, an easy way to do so is to go to theketomansclub.com. I'll take you straight to our Facebook page. You can join. Guys, if you haven't joined, you should join. Lance will let you in, even if you aren't keto. We want you to be a part of it. Maybe we'll get you to convert.
I'm sure they will, yeah.
But yeah, the website will take you straight to the Facebook group, and that's a great way to get involved in such a great community that's growing by just day after day. If you have a question, comment, or something that you don't want to put in a comment on the podcast page, then you can email us at ketomansclubpodcast@gmail.com. Feel free to reach out if you have ideas or anything like that. Speaking of reviews and comments, if you would visit us on your podcast application, Apple Podcasts, whatever you use. If it allows you to leave a review, please do so, because that's going to help get the word out. That's going to help more people connect with us. And while we ourselves are nothing special, I believe that the community that we have surrounding us and the idea of the ketogenic diet and what it can do for everyone with metabolic issues is important enough to get the word out for. So that's what we're trying to do. Well, if there's no other business to take care of, that will be it for this week. And until next week, make sure to eat meat, lift heavy, sleep, and repeat. We'll see you next week. Thank you for joining us for the Keto Man's Club podcast. Your support means the world to us. Don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss an episode. Would you help us spread the word about the Keto Man's Club by sharing with your friends and family? We're available on all podcast platforms, so just search for Keto Man's Club and you'll find us. If you would like to connect with us, you can do so a number of ways. Our web address leads to our Facebook group, theketomansclub.com. That's TheKetoMansClub.com. You can also follow us on Instagram at Keto Man's Club Podcast. Lastly, if you have any comments or questions, feel free to reach out via email to ketomansclubpodcast@gmail.com. Thank you again for joining us today, and we look forward to hanging out with you again next week.